Hello everyone, this is Science, and you're looking at the audiovisual chapter of class 11th biology. This is the second part of chapter 2 biological classification, and we are starting off with the kingdom Monera. Bacteria are the sole members of the kingdom Monera. They are the most abundant microorganisms. Bacteria occur almost everywhere. Hundreds of bacteria are present in handful of soil. They also live in extreme habitats such as hot springs, deserts, snow, and deep oceans where very few other life forms can survive. Many of them live in or on other organisms as parasites. In if you take like many of them live inside the organism, that is as a parasite, then you can call them endoparasite, and if they are living on the other organism as a parasite, that's a ectoparasite. So now bacteria are grouped under four categories based on their shape: the spherical coccus, or plural you can say the cocci; the rod shaped bacillus, plural bacilli; the comma shaped vibrium, or plural you can say the vibrio; and the spiral spirillum, or plural you can say the spirilla. So these are the different kind of shapes of bacteria which you can find in the surrounding, although you need a microscope to watch them. Though the bacterial structure is very simple, they are very complex in behavior. Compared to many other organisms, bacteria as a group show the most extensive metabolic diversity. Some of the bacteria are autotrophic, that is, they synthesize their own food from inorganic substrates. They may be photosynthetic autotrophic or chemosynthetic autotrophic. The vast majority of bacteria are heterotrophs, that is, they depend on other organisms or on dead organic matter for food. Now let's talk about the Archaebacteria. It's a type of a bacteria, or you can say the class, I guess. So these bacteria are special since they live in some of the most harsh habitats, such as extreme salty areas like halophiles, hot springs, thermoacidophiles, and marshy areas or methanogens. Archaebacteria differ from other bacteria in having a different cell wall structure, and this feature is responsible for their survival in extreme conditions. Methanogens are present in the gut of several ruminant animals, such as cows and buffaloes, and they are responsible for the production of methane or biogas from the dung of these animals. Now, eubacteria. There are thousands of different eubacteria or true bacteria. They are characterized by the presence of rigid cell wall and, if motile, a flagellum. The cyanobacteria, also referred to as blue-green algae, have chlorophyll A similar to green plants and are photosynthetic autotrophs. The cyanobacteria are unicellular, colonial, or filamentous, freshwater or marine or terrestrial algae. The colonies are generally surrounded by gelatinous sheath. They often form blooms in polluted water bodies. Some of these organisms can fix atmospheric nitrogen in specialized cells called heterocysts. Example: nostoc and Anabena. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrates, nitrites, and ammonia and use the released energy for their ATP production. They play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. Heterotrophic bacteria are most abundant in nature. The majority are important decomposers. Many of them have a significant impact on human affairs. They are helpful in making curd for milk, production for antibiotics, fixing nitrogen in legume roots, etc. Some are pathogens causing damage to human beings, crops, farm animals, and pets. Cholera, typhoid, tetanus, citrus canker are well known diseases caused by different bacteria. Bacteria reproduce mainly by fission. Sometimes, under favorable conditions, they produce under unfavorable conditions, they produce spores. They also reproduce by a sort of sexual reproduction by adopting a primitive type of a DNA transfer from one bacterium to the other. The mycoplasma are organisms that completely lack a cell wall. They are the smallest living cells known and can survive without oxygen. Many mycoplasma are pathogenic in animals and plants. Now let's talk about the kingdom Protista. All single-celled eukaryotes are placed under Protista, but the boundaries of this kingdom are not well defined. What may be a photosynthetic protestant to one biologist may be a plant to another. In this book, we include chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds, and protozoans under Protista. Members of Protista are primarily aquatic. This kingdom forms a link with the others dealing with plants, animals, and fungi. Being eukaryotes, the protestant cell body contains a well defined nucleus and other membrane bound organelles. Some have flagella or cilia. Protists reproduce asexually and sexually by a process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. Now let's talk about the chrysophyte, one of the class of kingdom Protista. This group includes diatoms and golden algae or desmids. They are found in fresh water as well as in marine environments. They are microscopic and float passively in water currents or plankton. Most of them are photosynthetic. In diatoms, the cell walls form two thin overlapping shells which fit together as in a soap box. The walls are embedded with silica and thus the walls are indestructible. Thus, diatoms have left behind a large amount of cell wall deposits in their habitat. The accumulation over billions of years is referred to as diatomaceous earth. Being gritty, this soil is used in polishing, filtration of oils and syrups. Diatoms are the chief producers in the oceans. Now let's talk about the dinoflagellates. These organisms are mostly marine and photosynthetic. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue, or red depending on the main pigment present in their cells. The cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on their outer surface. Most of them have two flagella. One lies longitudinally and the other transversely in a furrow between the wall plates. Very often, red dinoflagellates, example Goniolix, undergo such rapid multiplication that they make the sea appear red, or you can see the red tides. Toxins released by such large numbers may even kill other marine animals such as fishes. Now let's talk about the euglenoids. Majority of them are freshwater organisms. Found in stagnant water. Instead of cell wall, they have a protein rich layer called pellicle, which makes their body flexible. They have two flagella, a short and a long one. Though they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, when deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other small animals. Interestingly, the pigments of euglenoids are identical to those present in higher plants. Example is euglena and the figure is 2.4b, which you can see just exactly right side. Now let's talk about the slime mold. So slime molds are saprophytic protists. The body moves along decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing organic material. Under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation called plasmodium, which may grow and spread over several feet. During unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium differentiates and forms fruiting body, bearing spores at their tips. The spores possesses true walls. They are extremely resistant and survive for many years, even under adverse conditions. The spores are dispersed by air currents. Now let's see the protozoans. All protozoans are heterotrophs and live as predators or parasites. They are believed to be primitive relatives of animals. There are four major groups of protozoans. Amoeboid protozoans. These organisms live in fresh water, sea water, or moist soil. They move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia or false feet, as in amoeba. Marine forms have silica shells on their surface. Some of them, such as antamoeba, are parasites. Second is flagellated protozoans. The members of this group are either free living or parasitic. They have flagella. The parasitic forms cause diseases such as sleeping sickness. Example is trypanosoma. Third type is ciliated protozoans. These are aquatic, actively moving organisms because of the presence of thousands of cilia. They have a cavity, gullet, that opens to the outside of the cell surface. The coordinated movement of rows of cilia causes the water laden with food to be steered into the gullet. Example, paramecium. Now, the fourth type is sporozoans. This includes diverse organisms that have an infectious spore like stage in their life cycle. The most notorious is Plasmodium or malarial parasite, which causes malaria, a disease which has a staggering effect on human population. Here comes the end to the second part of the chapter 2 biological classification, class 11th biology. To watch more such videos, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any video. And if you want us to create these type of audio chapters for any other book or subjects, do mention in the comment section and like the video to keep us motivated to create such beautiful content. Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.